From Rudolph to Scott Calvin to John McClane, the nerds are jingling all the way to December the 25th as they present to you NERDMAS. NERDMAS.
The name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. I don't know why, but you are.
I'm not getting up at the moment.
Well, of course you're not getting up at the moment. What's going on, nerds? And welcome to our final episode of NERDMAS. Kind of day late and dollar short over here, or 2 days late and then $2 short here. But we're going to talk about 2022's Spirited, all the way from Apple TV. I think it did have like a very short theatrical run when it first came out. But yeah, we're going to talk about it and basically how it's the Christmas Carol with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell.
I think it's better than the Christmas Carol.
I do too. I really enjoyed this story very much, but hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, follow if you're on Facebook, and comment. We want to hear from you. What was your favorite part of the movie and stuff while we talk about ours? This movie was made on a $75 million budget, and it is gorgeous. It is an absolutely gorgeous movie. And honestly, for a straight to a streaming service movie to put out there, Apple TV did a really good job, and it didn't really feel like anybody was honing it in, whether it was Will Ferrell or Ryan Reynolds or the supporting cast, which I'll get to in a little bit. But James, what was your basic?
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Because there's a preface to this. And if anybody watches TikTok, just before this movie was even announced, like they had to have finished production and everything else, Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell teamed up and did a TikTok song.
I don't actually remember that.
I can believe blue.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I remember that one.
Yeah, so as this was being, so really it was as Spirited was being announced to come out. For anybody watching, that's my daughter's foot. She's currently laying on me. So you're gonna see a mysterious foot and hand appear.
So now let's jump into James. James, what was your reaction when this movie first came out to then after seeing it literally about yesterday?
Yesterday and today. I was like, oh, cool. It's a musical. Me. Oh, yay. It's a musical. I love musicals. I really enjoyed it. Not gonna lie, I really overly enjoyed the movie.
I really enjoyed the swerve, which we'll talk about later. Will, what was your kind of enjoyment of it?
This movie was like the greatest movie in the history of the world, part 87.
I mean, they just did 2 a couple of years ago, so wow, we jumped from 2 to 87.
Yeah.
Interesting. Was there any sort of affinity to a certain character that you had?
Ryan Reynolds' character.
Who?
Ryan Reynolds' character.
You proper named him. Susie, this was kind of like your fault, because this was the reason why I watched the movie, because you're like, AJ, here's my Apple TV. Watch it. Not like completely smacking me across the face with your login or whatever, but, you know, almost. Because you saw this before I did, weeks before I did. What drew you to this movie, and what was your reaction after seeing it?
So my parents and I have always done a Christmas movie on Christmas. And I had seen a commercial. I don't even remember where I saw the commercial. It was probably on Apple TV. And I watched like a clip of it. And I was like, oh my God, this looks amazing. We need to watch this. And I dragged my parents down my rabbit hole with me.
Well, when it's not your parents, it's us. So honestly, with this next question, I will go to you. This is basically a musical version of the Christmas Carol with some twists.
Yes.
What were some of the twists on the Christmas Carol that you actually enjoyed in this movie that did differently?
That question hurt my brain. I knew what you meant, but that question hurt my brain.
Yeah, well, fuck off. I mean, answer the question anyway.
That is not the correct response, AJ. You learned the correct response in Spirited, and I will not respond to fuck off ananymore. You have to give me the correct response.
I don't actually
If you
know
don't-
it. I can't
if you
remember
don't,
it.
I will.
Do it.
Good afternoon.
There you go.
Oh,
Afternoon!
the song. Fucking, oh god. The song. I was like, I literally just watched this. AJ, don't, brain work. Brain work.
For me, like, I really appreciated that it wasn't the classic, Christmas Carol. It was told from the ghost perspective,
Mhm.
Rather than from like Ebenezer Scrooge's perspective.
Well, technically, present is Ebenezer Scrooge.
Well, yes. So I did like that twist on it. I also love the fact that this became more about Scrooge than it was about. I can't think of Ryan Reynolds' character's name.
Clint Briggs.
Thank you. So it really, like, this movie was really about self-discovery for both of them, but primarily for Scrooge.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the twist of, okay, he is slightly redeemed, then dies. And within his death, he becomes fully redeemed.
Yes.
And he becomes Christmas present. And he runs that business, that fixing people like a damn business. Like, boom.
Yeah, and he changes it from, instead of doing one person every Christmas Eve, they do multiple people every Christmas Eve.
And honestly, even though he dies, and obviously his niece and people are going to miss him, he's doing a lot better unalived than he was living. And I really enjoyed Will Ferrell's character with the, when you retire, you go live on Earth. And Octavia, oh god, what's her last name? Octavia Spencer, her character saw Will Ferrell's character. Wasn't supposed to, but because she believed in there being good, out there, right there and then, and they end up having a family together. It's very a wholesome movie, and I'll talk about the dark part later. But Will, jump to you. What was there a twist in the movie that you enjoyed more in this movie than you would have expected in a regular Christmas Carol?
That the present was Ebenezer Scrooge.
That was big. That was big. I remember watching that and my jaw was like, yo, what the fuck? See, he can be good. And I think it was based on he just didn't want to be an anomaly. Anomaly? Shamalama Ding Dong?
Yeah, something like that.
Can we also talk about the fact that his boss is Bob Marley?
Oh yeah, no shit. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
James, what about you, pal?
I mean, you guys already kind of talked about the twist.
Go for it, though. But I want to hear it from you.
It was one of those twists that was actually well put. Also, I think the other thing I did like was the fourth wall break of, yeah, we know you already know the story. We know, just sit down, shut up, just let's do this entire thing. Like, they knew the song and dance.
It's like, how many times we need to see Uncle Ben die?
Yeah. Like, I think I laughed because it was just like, wait, is this like the story? What, everybody is Scrooge? Yes. Can you just sit down and shut up and just let me finish the rest of this? Like, I started laughing really hard at that only because of the fact that I was like, oh, so we're fourth row breaking this. Got it. And then back in my brain, I'm like, it's a Ryan Reynolds movie. They're going to fourth row break it.
No kidding. And that dark part, I kind of wanted to mention how ruthless Ryan Reynolds' character Clint Briggs was with trying to help his niece win class president.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she had Octavia Spencer's character Kimberly dig up dirt on her opposition, and come to find out, she posts that video. You see what happens in the future, and crap, I'm trying to think of who the future person was, the voice of the future yet to come. It was Tracy Morgan. Oh, Tracy Morgan did the voice. That makes sense. And the kid sees all that stuff and ends up killing himself. The shit you say and do have consequences, and that's probably the biggest thing Ryan Reynolds' character learned in this whole movie. Like, you can be a dickhead all you want, but everything you say and do, there are consequences for. And honestly, with how funny this movie is and how much of a musical this movie is, I felt like it had more of a story aspect than the actual Christmas Carol. It modernized it very much.
It also hit on a lot of the points of like why a lot of people hate Christmas now.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think that kind of also like hit a little closer to home than some of us would have liked, because it modernized A Christmas Carol. It made it where, a lot of the modern values that we see now were in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
What'd you do?
I just stabbed my dog in the face.
Yeah, he's fine. He likes to get boops.
Considering the fact he runs full force into my coffee table.
Oh, how about that one time you ran full force into your front door? There were no brakes on that dog.
No.
But honestly, as much as I'm a Matt with musicals, I very much enjoyed this movie. It's been out for 2 years and I've watched it twice. I can tell you something. It's become one of my every year things. Granted, it's only been 2 years, but it's right there with the Polar Express, even though people find that disgustingly creepy. It's turned into a AJ tradition movie, but I honestly would give it, for a streaming service, and it's strictly just to Apple TV, which kind of sucks. I'd give it a good 8 out of 10. Very much enjoyed it and definitely will go back. James, what about you? And let's hear your final thoughts and everything on it.
Fully enjoyed this movie. It will definitely be in my traditions there. I want to give it a 9 out of 10 because I like musicals. I think that's pretty much a sounding right there for me.
Will, let's hear your final statement before we go to your life.
This movie is good. Fucking watch it. I demand it.
I mean, it's right to the point. Shit! Kinda hurt. Shouldn't have done that. Oh, my knuckle cracked completely. Oh, shit. Wrong finger. Susie, don't laugh too hard. You're going to be jiggling the baby the whole time. You're going to... Susie, let's hear your final thoughts of the movie. You're basically come together with a review, and let's hear your rating on it.
So this is a 9 out of 10. It's definitely a new tradition in my house to watch. And as most of my friends know, I am an avid musical watcher, listener. I love all musicals.
Fucking Beetlejuice.
The number of times I listen to that on repeat.
It seems like every time I get in your fucking car, it's playing.
Yes. That and Spirited. Spirited has always played since I found the album.
Lady, you have issues.
we were in June and I was listening to the Spirited album and Will's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No."
All right, time out. You're never okay, so don't even play off that there are times where you are okay. You're just meh.
Meh. But I would definitely like recommend watching this, even if you're not a fan of musicals. This isn't like heavily. There's a couple of like musical dance numbers, but this isn't like.
I think in about an hour 45, I think this movie is. There are 5 musical numbers. 6.
There's more than that. I think there's 6 or 7, but
3 or
it's not
4.
like it's not like smacking you in the face. It's natural progression into songs.
And it's not like they're taking you out of the movie to gigantic set piece musical.
Yeah,
like
they're
you were
doing it
mentioning.
all. Yeah, it's all incorporated. It's really nice. If you want a really good song to listen to, though, I would definitely listen to "Good Afternoon." Brings me great joy to tell somebody "Good afternoon" and they not understand that it, at least according to the movie, in olden times, it used to be,
Go
slang.
fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So tomorrow night, it's going to be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we are done with NERDMAS until next year, and very looking forward to next year's, all from Halloween to Christmas. But tomorrow we're talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie, and we're gonna do our year-end review with that as well.
Yeah, the new one that just came out, not the one in the 90s.
Oh no, let's talk about the one in the 90s.
Wait, what? That's not the one we're watching? What the hell?
I like my eyeballs firmly in my brain, and I like being able to see.
Susie, you're blind.
So are you.
No, I can see honestly fine.
Uh-huh.
You've had my glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Tell us what you thought. What you kind of want to see if they do like a prequel, like if they do an actual Christmas Carol with Will Ferrell as Scrooge.
Honestly, I'd like to just see another movie with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell in it. I think it'd be a riot.
Yes. I mean, they're both freaking comedic geniuses, as much as I don't like Will Ferrell. He was really good in this movie. What do you got, James?
This could be the new Kevin Hart and Rock thing, just more likable.
Okay, so to understand, I first pitched the idea of AJ watching Spirited, and he's like, "Well, who's in it?" And I said Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell, and he's like, "No."
I like Ryan Reynolds.
I didn't want to give it a shot until I was like, "You need to."
I like Ryan
Reynolds.
You will love it. Not that very high on Will Ferrell. Like, the only reason why the Lego movie worked for me is because you didn't see him. Like, I don't even like Elf. But, all right, everybody, join us tomorrow night at 7. What?
Oh, you're being judged for not liking Elf.
Not a fan. I'd rather watch Jim Carrey's Grinch movie.
So wait, hold on. I need to put that on NERDMAS for next year, is to force you to watch Elf.
I mean, I've seen it many times. Not a fan of it. At all. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in. Check us out tomorrow for our last episode of the year. Jesus, this year went by really fast.
It really did.
From the start of it, no baby. End of it, you have baby. Kind of crazy how that works. I mean, you know, the 9 or 10 month. Never mind.
The 9 months flew.
Wait, did you just call your baby an infection?
Yes.
Oh, okay, fine. All right, everybody. Bye.
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 From Rudolph to Scott Calvin to John McClane, the nerds are